PathMonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. PathMonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add PathMonk to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmonk.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Larry from Intervene, Head of Sales and Marketing. How are you doing today, Larry?
Good. How are you doing? Nice to meet, or nice to be with you.
No, great to have you on today's show. And well, listeners are always curious so what Intervene is all about. So let's kick it off with that. Larry, in your own words, can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So Intervene is we're a intervention company. So we really focus on tier 2 and tier 3 students in math and ELA reading, and we work on top of or above and beyond school districts and schools' existing programs or content. We come in and work in more of a collaborative learning group, small groups, in a virtual environment. Mostly, when you think about it, it's working with those students that need intervention, but more or less in like a tutoring environment. So we do provide tutoring support. What separates us from other tutoring companies is we don't do 24/7 homework helpline. We really work within the school day and in a pull-out situation and work with those students in those small groups.
Okay, awesome. Great to hear that. Some education. So that everyone that is listening could get a good understanding of your company. What would you say is a key problem that then you solve for in this case students?
Well, right now, a big area that we're solving is we provide bilingual support, bilingual tutors. So we have a pretty sizable influx of migrant students coming in and students that are here that are part of the bilingual program. And so we work with those in a bilingual situation. So we have Spanish is our primary focus on that type of support. So that again, that separates us from other companies, but it really fulfills a need in the marketplace. And also, there's a teacher shortage out there, and so some skilled instruction in special ed, tier 2 and tier 3. So we really are able to support districts in that way, and it also helps alleviate the challenge of a talent pool in some urban areas or in more of the outlining areas that they may not have the talent pool that is needed or that they're looking for. So there's several different areas that we really support the marketplace.
Okay, awesome. Great to see. And so then that way we could maybe segment down a little bit. Is there a certain type of clients or a niche that you guys like to go for?
Yeah, so the niche that we really look at is those urban areas, Title I areas, Title III for the bilingual support. Some of the content that we provide in the tutoring sessions is Black student achievement plans and Latino student achievement plans, and so we're really looking at those areas that are underserved and support them and really help them help the students be able to see themselves in the instruction and looking at career readiness as well, and kind of bringing that out. So when we start thinking about those underserved areas, I mean, that's really our niche and target area.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Great to see. And well, you being there, Larry, the head of sales and marketing, what would you say is a top client acquisition channel then for you guys?
So we really focus on some key conferences that we go to. Of course, you've got your normal outreach, whether it be with our sales team for phone calls, emails, booking meetings, and such like that. But we really want to try and key in on warm leads as opposed to cold leads all the time. So a lot of referral based, networking situations. We tend to use LinkedIn as much as we can to connect and build a network that way. But when I talk about the conferences, it's more than just showing up with a table in a booth and standing there. We really put some effort into planning how we attend the conferences and network there as well. And then really kind of bringing home a lot of key contacts that we've made there and then work them from that way. But I think the overall key strategy in all of that is leaning on referrals, references, and networking within our group.
Okay, perfect. Great to hear that. Now, I am here on your website. That's intervenek12.com. What role does a website play for your client acquisition?
Yeah, so we utilize that. In fact, we've just been working on some upgrades on the website recently, but we really use that to direct and direct our traffic to the website. I think we actually have a pretty good website that is to the point, explains what we do, how we do it, and some of the content that we have and the way we work. And so if we could drive some of that traffic to the website, it does have us a pretty good conversion rate as far as having them reach out to us to book a meeting and show interest. And so as much as we can, we'd like to utilize that website and drive that traffic to it.
Okay, awesome. Great to hear. Now, this year, I mean, that there's been a lot of trends in marketing, but is there any tools or methods that you guys look for in order to get those clients in the door?
You know, it's interesting. Everybody's got a different way of reaching out. You know, kind of all the above type of scenario and some of the things that I mentioned earlier. But at the end of the day, when you think about it, a good old-fashioned phone call always tends to work. If you think about a traditional email inbox from any of our buyers or anybody out there, even ourselves, we get bombarded with emails on a daily basis. And our cell phones relatively sit quiet as far as the phone ringing. And so, you know, any of our buyers can step away from their desk for an hour plus and come back and have a lot of emails and no phone calls. And so sometimes when you think about reaching out and getting a hold of people, phone calls is kind of full circle. It's a good strategy that we utilize.
All right, awesome. Great to hear that. Well, let's switch gears a little bit, Larry, and let's talk about you as a leader, you being the head of sales and marketing there for Intervene. What are some key tasks you focus on your day-to-day work?
You know, I think most of it is working with our sales team, looking at how we can better position ourselves in the marketplace. As a leader, I tend to spend a lot of my time just working at how to remove obstacles in front of the sales team so that they can do their job not just more efficiently, but also better. And always looking at ways of streamlining how we can work smart, not hard. So one is working with the sales team in that way. Two, since we're all in sales, it's always looking for the next opportunity as well, both as a team and individually. And then just mapping out. I think I spent a lot of time looking at areas as far as strategic approach and mapping out where we want to go next. What districts we want to start focusing on, whether it be district profile or key market areas. Since we do have a strong focus on the bilingual community, it's really looking at those key counties, cities, districts that have a high need for bilingual support. So a lot of I don't know if I want to call it territory mapping, but like I said, just really looking for strategic areas that we want to spend our time in.
Okay, awesome. Great. That's very important. And at the end, right? Because that all depends on you and you got to hit it on the button, right?
Right, absolutely. Yep,
Awesome. Well, let's jump into our section to a rapid fire round. You ready for our questions, Larry?
absolutely. Fire away.
All right. First off, what is the last book that you read?
Last book that I read is um, Let's Get Real. Excuse me. Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play. It's by Mahan Khalsa. a book that has come from has a lot of similarities to like a sales technique, really providing a solution to somebody else's problems.
Okay, perfect. Great read there. Now, what is one single thing that your company is focused on at the moment the most?
Like I said, I think focusing in on those students that are struggling, math, reading, and ELA. We're coming up now into the second half of the school year, and so schools, districts are really starting to focus in on end of the year scores and assessments. And so now is our time where we really come in and start working with the students today to help prepare them for end of the year.
Okay, awesome. Great to hear. Uh, Now, if there would be no boundaries in technology, Larry, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
That's a good question. I think there's so much noise out there. Cutting through the noise and really getting um, connecting with people. I know LinkedIn, social media is a big part of that, but a lot of that is one-to-one connections. Really looking for maybe a possibility like a platform that brings groups together. When you think of thought leadership and stuff like that, it's more or less an area or a platform that we can bring good thought leadership and conversation together. I think there's so much need for good conversation. Um, Social media provides posts and podcasts like this and other things, but areas where people can collaborate together in groups. I think something like that would be, I think, a good need in the marketplace.
Okay, perfect. Now, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Email, looking at email, reading emails, spending time in email. I don't know. There's so many different forms and channels of communication, whether it be Slack or email, text messages. Just it's cutting through all that and just finding a way to just eliminate that time of messaging.
Okay, awesome. Great. I mean, email is always, I think everybody's struggle at one point. So definitely if
Yeah.
someone's out there listening to this, somebody's got
Yep.
to come up with something.
Yep.
Um, and well, Leslie, what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
I think going back to social media and looking at connecting with people and kind of my early days in developing my career in K-12, there's so many good people that I've met and connected with, and I don't have communication with them today. Um, Former colleagues and such, and I just wish early on would have been able, and early on too, we didn't have LinkedIn and some of the other social network platforms, but I think really connecting with people and building relationships early on and continuing with that. Most all business units have different. We're all small. It's a small world out there, really,
Hmm.
and so you're bound to connect and run into people again. And I think just building those relationships early on is so important.
Definitely would agree. That's some great advice there, Larry. Well, Larry, thanks a lot for being on the show with us today. I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about your company?
One thing I think you should remember is a lot of companies out there say they're mission driven or part of mission driven, and of course Intervene is, but I think we truly, when we say we're mission driven from the core of our founder, Aaron McLeod, who has a passion to help and support these students in these hard to reach and urban areas. And so when you look at our mission statement and what we are all about, Aaron has come from an area that is truly a place that he is now in a situation where he wants to give back because he came from a pretty rough upbringing and through his high school career. And so now it's really giving back. And when you have a leader like that and it is embedded throughout the entire company, and when we say we're mission driven, we truly are. And so our goal is to help as many students as we can, help realize their dreams and realize their potentials.
All right, awesome, great. Thank you so much for that. Well, for our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys want to check them out, you could always check them out at intervenek12.com, a data-driven intervention program with high dosage online tutoring. Larry, thank you so much for being on with us. For our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in and looking forward to our next episode at Pathmonk Presents.
Thank you. Appreciate it.